Hi everybody. My devotion is going to be just a little bit shorter this week. You know that I love nature shots. I like just sharing a little bit about where I'm traveling and what I'm doing. And last week I did like always and showed a nature shot, but I've got COVID again. And so this week I haven't been out of the house as much. You might remember that the last time I had COVID, I thought I was feeling a little better before I really was a little better. And I went out to run some trail cams. I watched myself in the video later, and I went from looking pretty nice to looking pretty messed up. I thought that wasn't so smart. So we're going to skip that this time. I am going to share in here with the devotion. This is Jeremy and Christiana's new home. It is an older home, beautiful, large home of a craftsman style. At the top, this is upstairs. At the top of the stairs, there is a library that I'm just coming out of before it goes to the landing and downstairs. And here is kind of an antechamber that's just beautiful with a fireplace and everything. So I'm going to come on in here in the quiet of this chamber and share with you the devotion for the day. So why don't you come and join me, okay? You may remember the last time, oh, this echoes like a big echo chamber in here. You may remember the last time I shared devotion and last week when my son Jeremy shared the devotion, that we're now, for a while anyway, looking at some wisdom books of the Bible. And I'm sharing some of my favorite Proverbs from the book of Proverbs. So I may have some of the ones you like, I may not. But this one is from Proverbs chapter 6, verse 1. Oh, 1 through 5. My son, if you have put up security for your neighbor, if you have struck hands and pledged for another, if you have been trapped by what you said, ensnared by the words of your mouth, then do this, my son, and free yourself, since you have fallen into your neighbor's hands. Go and humble yourself. Press your plea with your neighbor. Allow no sleep to your eyes, no slumber to your eyelids. Free yourself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter, or a bird from the snare of the fowler. I would like to look at that verse for just a moment. It's just a piece of practical advice. It's a proverb for us to live by. It doesn't mean that if you do co-sign for someone that everything's going to fall apart necessarily. It's just saying that it's not wise to co-sign for someone. Now, this passage is not saying that we should not be generous, that we should not give, that we should not loan. Actually, in other places in the Bible, it is told to us that we should give generously without thinking of repayment. John Wesley, who was a founder of Methodism, and this is a Methodist church, he coined the phrase, I believe, that you should earn all you can, save all you can, give all you can. Now this passage is not talking about generosity. I like this room. Just so many playful things you can do with it. This passage isn't talking about giving what you can give. This passage is speaking about giving what you can't afford to give. Promising that you will do something that you really don't have the ability to do. And your words trap you. For instance, if you have a friend that comes to you to ask for a loan or ask you to co-sign, Perhaps they're buying a car. They want you to co-sign for that car or something. Why don't you just give them the money to buy the car? Because you probably don't have it, do you? Well, why don't you just loan them the money to buy the car, or loan them the money to get the house, or loan them the money for whatever it is, and then they can pay you back and save some interest. Ugh, because it may be too big, right? That's what I mean. Signing, or what they're talking about in Scripture, in Proverbs chapter 6, signing your name on the dotted line and promising that you will cover the need if someone else can't, when you don't really have the cash to do it very easily. Hey, I gotta show you this little door. This is so cool. Yeah, I know, it's an attic, right? That's what I thought, and it is. I've seen those before. The house Sue grew up in had a little door like this with an attic. But we were exploring the house the other day, and we opened up and found out that it's got a floor on the other side, and it kind of slides down a couple of steps down over here, which is the front wall below the porch. And then you have to get on your hands and knees and crawl to the other end of the building. But when you get down to the other end of the building, there is a square room high enough you can stand up, walk around, and it's actually a room that's hidden in there. Kind of cool. This house has got a ton of stuff to look at. It's and when I've been playing, Jeremy and I've been playing all over the place, getting to know the new house. Well, getting sidetracked. The COVID made me do it. While we're talking about co-signing with cash we really can't afford, you know, never sign your name on a blank check with a stranger. When your neighbor comes to you, it's not wise to co-sign. Go to your neighbor, ask forgiveness, you know, get out of that deal because you have put yourself in jeopardy. I'll tell you one that is not actually in Scripture. You may agree, you may not agree, which I have seen a lot of times because I've spent a good portion of my life in colleges. Try this scenario. Your kids do not have a large, you know, their buying power, their ability to borrow is not that high. They probably don't have houses and sometimes a car and not a lot of equity laying around that can be used as security for a loan. But you may, well, especially by the time your kids get into college, because by the time your kids are in college, hopefully that house will be, you know, come closer to being paid for. It may even be paid off. And by the time you come into college, by the time your kids are in college, it may be possible that, you know, you're toward the peak of your earning. And it may be possible that you've got some retirement savings, right? 401ks, things like that, IRAs, things that are investments that you have set aside retirement. And that's a good thing because you may be getting close to retirement. I've seen many times when the junior or senior year in college, when the school would come in, sometimes the financial aid would be a little bit low, and the school would say, well, we can't trust this person. They don't have a credit reference. They don't have the credit standing built up to borrow, but the parents do. I mean, they've got a farm, they've got a house, they've got these things, they've got retirement. So if they're going to finish that last year or two or get started in life or start their house, they're just about going to have this, your child sign on, or you sign on the dotted line for your child. There have been a lot of parents that have ended up at retirement without retirement because of something like that. Well, what do? Is that you love your children. Do you keep safety first? Do you throw safety and caution to the wind and sign for that loan? Hard question. The Bible gives us this precedent that we should not be loaning money that we can't afford to loan. I mean, generous, yes, to a fault with money we can't afford, but not money we don't have. And yet, those that we love so much need so much help to get started. It's not always an easy answer, and I'll leave it with you for this week. Let you wrestle with what's wise, what's not wise, but the Bible does speak to that, doesn't it? Go back and look up Proverbs chapter 6, the first 5 verses, and chew on that for a while and see when you get in a position like that if there's any words of wisdom there for you. That's all I have to share today. Kind of troubling, isn't it? More questions than answers. Study Scripture. There's a word of wisdom for you in there. Which, by the way, while I'm saying that, let me also say that ultimately our security is not in a 401k or in cash or in any other area except in the Lord. And if you're having a hard week, if it's a shaky week for you, may God watch over you the rest of this week, hold you in His arms, and be your rock, your security, your salvation.